What is up, YouTube? Back here with another video. Just going to show you how to remove the brake pads on a Kawasaki rear caliper. This works for like the 2003 to 2006 zx6r, 636, zx10r, which this is currently off of. What you're going to do is just remove these two screws right here, these two bolts. They're 6mm Allen keys. This is going to be on the swing arm here. And once you remove that, holding down the caliper, you're going to take the caliper, spin it upside down. You can still have the brake line still on it. And now what you want to do is just push back these the brake pads. So you're just going to take a flathead in here, just give it a little twisting action, just relieve that pressure, push that piston back in there, gives you more room to work with, and then you can sandwich everything back. And then there's a little cotter pin right here that you need to take out to remove this rod holding in the brake pads. So what you're going to do with that, take some needle nose pliers, just kind of stick right up in there, give it a little pry, boom. That's what it looks like. Set it aside. You're going to need to put that back in. Next, you got to try to remove this rod. Luckily, I have a pick here, which go right into the hole where that came out of, the cotter pin. It's kind of giving us a prying action, just kind of separate a little bit. And now there's a little lip there. So I'm going to take a flathead, just kind of give it a little twisting action, just like I did with the depressing the piston back in and get more room with those brake pads. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, so bear with me. Once you got it kind of out, give it a nice little pull action, maybe get a little twist on the side, and then that should just release. Give it a little pull. Here's the rod. Make sure you put that aside with your cotter pin. And now, this brake pad should just be able to come right out. Spin this around, slide that out. You want to get some brake cleaner and clean up all this brake dust in here, and try not to get it on the nice colored paint, because it will ruin it and stain it. Pretty much I'm just stealing the brake pads out of this one, which is a bad one, as you can tell. Pretty shot, but the brake pads are still good. Now for reassembly, let me just get these brake pads and I'll show you that. Well, these pads are totally shot, which I should have really expected. It's definitely not flush. So in the old brake pads go for now. This one goes in back here. Yeah, you want to make sure that you get it up underneath that lip. A nice little push back. Luckily you move that piston back just so you have that extra room to work with. Push that right on back. Take your other brake pad, make sure it's the correct way. Slip that on there and just bring it over. Next, you're going to take that rod. Make sure your hole is directly facing up so that we can put your cotter pin back in there. And what you want to do is just push down on your brake pads while pushing this through, and it should smooth or go in just like butter. Boom. Now, look at how much extra room we have to work with. Take our cotter pin. Get it back in that hole. Just kind of feel it start to go and give it a little push. You only want it on that first little notch, so it still will have a little lip up there. You just want it in the middle, essentially, of the cotter pin. And there you go. Slide this back where it's supposed to go. Ooh. Shoot, popped off the little clip there. You got to make sure that the pad is seated on those two little prongs. So slide it out. Yeah, just get a flathead. Slide that. It's very hard and difficult with one hand, so I'm just pushing down on that, sliding the brake caliper toward, or the brake pad toward me, and boom, there we go. Finished. Put your 6mm bolts back in, and you're good to go.